Are you listening? This is the title of today's topic on the series Closing the Gap by the Leadership Development Resources, composed of our mentor, Reverend Terry King, Pastor Sunday Tanyegra, and yours truly, Pastor Miguel Pabilonia. And Pastor Sunday spoke on emotions clouding judgment. You can actually watch their videos online via the LDR website or on YouTube. For my topic, I would like to discuss one of the most neglected and yet a much necessary ingredient of people communication. That is listening. We often see this scenario on films, if not actually witness it at home. While dad is watching TV or reading a newspaper, mom is saying something in the background. Dad nods and says yes, but hardly hears nor understands what mom actually says. Then the words that follow gets dad's attention. Are you listening? I'm not a particularly good listener, but lessons of life have taught me through the years that one thing that helps close the gap between people is the skill of listening. You see, it takes wisdom to win friends. The Bible says in Proverbs 11:30, "He who wins soul is wise." And I like how it is put in the New Living Translation. A wise person wins friends. These words are exactly right, because a truly wise person pays attention. He listens, and so he wins with people. A military general by the name of George Marshall suggested a formula for handling people. It includes 3 steps. Number 1, listen to the other person's story. Number 2, listen to the other person's full story. Number 3, listen to the other person's full story first. You see, all of us desire that our stories or ideas are heard. This is tied to our need for a positive sense of importance. Anybody who pays attention to us gets our trust. Now remember, trust is the bedrock of meaningful interpersonal relationship. When trust goes up, defenses go down, and relationships therefore are built up. Listening is important at work. An article from Harvard Business Review states this: managers who listen well are perceived as people leaders, generate more trust, instill higher job satisfaction, and increase their team's creativity. Even among the most looked down members of society, a listening ear is a necessity. Listen to this. During interviews in a San Francisco study about teenage prostitutes, they were asked this question: is there anything you needed most and couldn't get? With sadness and tears in their eyes, their response was actually unanimous. They said, "What I needed most was someone to listen to me. Someone who cared enough to listen to me." This is also true at home. There was this story recounted by Pastor Chuck Swindoll about himself when he had too many commitments in too few days. This is what he said: "I was snapping at my wife and our children, choking down my food at meal times, and feeling irritated at those unexpected interruptions through the day. Before long, things around our home started reflecting the pattern of my hurry-up style. It was becoming unbearable. I distinctly remember after supper one evening, the words of our younger daughter, Colleen. She wanted to tell me something important that had happened to her at school that day. She began hurriedly saying, "Daddy, I want to tell you something, and I will tell you really fast." Suddenly, realizing her frustration, I answered, "Honey, you can tell me, and you don't have to tell me really fast. Say it slowly." Well, I'll never forget her answer. She says, "Then listen slowly." You see, listening is powerful. Paying attention pays off. It gains trust. It wins friends. It closes gaps. It also makes us better leaders. In his book, Leadership Gold, John Maxwell tells his readers the best leaders are listeners. Let me repeat that. Very important. The best leaders are listeners. Why? Let me share with you a few pointers from his book. They're actually found in chapter 6 of Leadership Gold. Number 1, understanding people precedes leading them. If we are to lead people, we need to understand them. We need to know where they are coming from, their heart, hopes, and hurts. Leaders cannot ask for people's hand before touching their heart. That's the first. The second, listening is the best way to learn. You see, we are created with one mouth and 2 ears. There must be a good reason for it. We should allow ourselves to allot double the time that we give to talking to that of listening, because listening facilitates learning. And remember, as leaders, when we stop learning, we stop leading. That's number 2. Number 3 now. Listening can keep problems from escalating. There is this story of 2 hunters who were together in the woods one day when one of them fell unconscious to the ground. Since he seemed not breathing, the other guy took out his cell phone, dialed 911, and in panic told the operator, "Baba is dead. What can I do?" The operator responds in a calm and soothing voice saying, "Just take it easy. I can help. But first, let's make sure he's dead." There's a moment of silence, and then a shot was heard. Bang! The hunter's voice came back on the line and says, "Okay, now what?" You see, whether a leader doesn't know the problem or he is actually the problem in the organization, he needs to listen to others around him in order for the problem not to get worse. Listening is important. Number 4, listening establishes trust. Our aim in communication is not to impress people by our erudition, but to impact them with our attention. When this happens, people will feel cared for, respected, and understood. The trust account rises as a result. The number 5, listening can improve the organization. When Nokia failed to listen to the voice of the cell phone industry, they lost their way and they were not able to get back on track. Listening is key to organizational improvement. Let me end this topic with a quote from the Bible. James tells us in chapter 1, verse 19 of his letter, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. This is pure wisdom. Because generally, when we open our lips to speak, our ears get shut and our anger tends to easily burst. In contrast, when we shut our lips, we tend to listen well, thereby preventing emotional responses which leads to arguments. Heavenly wisdom knows the importance of listening. But experience also tells us that people who are skillful in interpersonal communications maximize the use of the ears as well as their lips. So then, listen well. Pay attention, because by it you can touch hearts, build trust, and close relationship gaps. Blessings to you all.
Now, if you registered for the webinar today, you should have received an email with a link, a Zoom link, an invite to join the team, myself, Pastor Sunday, Pastor Miguel, for a discussion, a dialogue. And you'll need to click that link. As soon as the video ends, join us, please. If you didn't receive that link, go right away to the website, register. We'll try to get an email out to you right away. We want to talk to you. We want to hear what you have to say. God bless you. Thank you for joining us.